And good morning and welcome to our incubator egg check-in. As a reminder, we are incubating small little quail eggs along with some duck eggs. So the last time we did an incubator check-in, we actually did some candling of a duck egg, which means we took one of the duck eggs out of the incubator. We placed it right here in this little cup that has a very, very strong LED light in it. And when I hit the button, it was able to put the light right up through the duck egg, and we were actually able to see that there was a duck growing inside there. That was really exciting. So today is April 30th. And we are about 15 days into our incubation cycle. Now, this is a very important part of this time because these quail eggs, we're not sure of the breed of quail. We know one of the parents was a Cortnex quail, but we're not sure what kind the other one was. It might have been a larger quail from what I've been told. So that means that their hatch date is anywhere between 16 and 18 days of incubation. So we're about 15 days in. So we are in lockdown now. And when we put eggs into lockdown, that means that they will not be turning anymore. So the incubator turning carousel right here actually turned off yesterday to ensure that the eggs wouldn't roll around. Now, the reason for that is because the last few days of incubation, the chick that is developing inside the egg, that should be almost fully developed at this point for the quails, are going to be getting in position for hatching. So we don't want to disturb that by having the eggs rotate anymore. So now duck eggs have a longer incubation time than the quail eggs. So we're going to have to do a little adjusting, and what I had to start doing yesterday was hand rotating the duck eggs because, again, the carousel here in the incubator is no longer turning those eggs to make sure those quail eggs are not being disturbed. So today what we're going to do is we're actually going to take, hopefully carefully, the turning carousel out of the incubator, slightly rotate and move the duck eggs to one side of the incubator, and the quail eggs we're going to put on the other side. And we're going to do this as quickly as possible because we really want the inside incubator, want those eggs, especially the quail eggs, to be staying at the right temperature and humidity for hatching. Now, you'll also notice that I do not have my beautiful classical music playing right now. They have been listening to it, but I just unplugged it so that I could plug in an additional light source to help me really get a good look at the eggs and make sure everything's looking okay. All right, so let's give this a try. We're gonna carefully take the incubator cap off and very carefully, okay, this is going to be harder than I anticipated. The duck eggs do not fit. Okay, we got to come up with a different plan. I'm going to go like this. Very carefully move all the quail eggs to one side and carefully move the duck eggs to the other side. And again, we're trying to do this as carefully as possible so that we do not disturb. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have to do a little adjusting here because, again, we do not want those quail eggs to get cool. I'm going to very carefully put the incubator cover back on the eggs. And then what I'm going to have to do is get a separate container and actually remove the duck eggs for a minute so that I can take the carousel out. This incubator was created for chicken eggs primarily, so these duck eggs are actually bigger than the chicken eggs, and I can't just remove the rotating carousel from them. So I am going to get a separate container to carefully move the duck eggs while I remove the carousel so that the quail eggs stay nice and safe. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we are back, and what I just did is I went into my kitchen and I got one of these baking pans, and I lined it with one of my kitchen towels so it's nice and safe and the eggs wouldn't be able to roll around on it. So what I'm going to do now is, again, I'm going to very quickly remove the incubator cover and very gently place the duck eggs in this pan while I remove the rotating carousel to give the quails as much room as possible so that when they hatch, hopefully they hatch, it will be good. Now, we're going to try to do this quickly and carefully, and then we're going to be leaving these eggs alone. Put that up gently like that. All right, so very quickly and carefully, and then I'm going to be putting those duck eggs right back in the incubator. But for now, I've just got to carefully move them so we can give the quail eggs plenty of room. And we did not candle the quail eggs because they are so small and their shells have that darker splotch on them that I think it would be hard to tell if the embryos were growing. All right, so very carefully now I am removing the rotating carousel. And then very carefully, I'm going to place the quail eggs on one side, giving them plenty of room. I'm trying to be as careful as possible. To ensure that they have all the room they need for hatching. Okay. All right, so we've just done that, and now I'm going to very carefully put the duck eggs back in the incubator so that they stay nice and warm and moist as well. We have enough room here. Again, the duck eggs are significantly bigger than the quail eggs. So again, we're just trying to give everybody room, and I'm going to have to open up the incubator again later today to rotate the eggs again because we're just the duck eggs. Remember, the duck eggs still have to be rotated. They're not in their lockdown stage yet. All right, so that should give my quails, I'm going to move this so you can see it, my quail eggs and my duck eggs plenty of room, and we are then going to replace the incubator cover so that the humidity and the heat stay where they are. Now what we're going to have to do too, there we go, so they're all back in there snug as a bug in a rug. And we're going to be watching them, and I'm going to add a little more water to the water chamber because we really want that humidity level to be above 55% now because the quails are going to be getting ready to hatch. So with that, we just need that humidity level higher in there and keeping that temperature right at that 99.5. All right, friends, stay tuned. Hopefully within the next few days, we're going to have some baby quails.